Good morning and welcome to GM Tips this fine weekend. This is GM Rick coming at you from the domicile. I hope everything's good. We got Wally and Eve in the background for your purview and pleasure. You gotta love when I have these different kids videos on, because if you aren't a Disney fan, you will be after listening to my GM tip videos. It's part of being a geek dad. Gotta love it. So, one thing before we get into the GM tips today, which is a great campaign setting, and this particular one is the Midgard setting. I really want to share a wonderful gift that my fiance has gotten me. This is my pre-Christmas present. In other words, early Christmas present. So, the Rusty Dragon Inn, what is it? Well, let me show you, because it is a beautiful little contrivance of Paizo's that is really neat. As you can see, within, I've got little bottles and stools that you can sit on, and more bottles, a lot of bottles. Those little colored things down there are bottles. And we've got the setting. So what are these? These are the bartender end thing, the backs where they put the bottles in, the actual tables are in the area that the bartender moves around, the 2 kegs of ale, and the table. I love it. I'm excited because I do a lot of things when my party comes to taverns, and it would be nice to have a tavern locale I can start them in, especially in special places. So I wanted to show you that wonderful thing. I have a mini GM beside me. Yes, mini GM. What can I do for you?
Can you come and put Molly and Eve?
I will here in a couple minutes when Dad's done with the GM tips. I will help you find Wally and Eve. She's got a pop Wally and Eve she wants me to help her find. So, there's Wally. You'll find Eve. She's around in one of your containers. Go look outside your bedroom. She might be outside the bedroom, or she might be there on the couch. Gotta love it. So why am I excited about that? Because I'm getting a whole tavern, and the great part is you get the booster packs for the Rusty Dragon Inn. You get pieces of furniture, so you get the wagon, you get the bartenders, you get other guests. So if you haven't picked it up, just for the heck of having minis, go to the WizKids Paizo Battles Rusty Dragon Inn minis and get them. They're usable for any fantasy campaign. So I would say well worth the investment. Yeah, there's a little bit of money. Yeah, they're $15 a pack, but the individuals will cost you way, way more. So get the packs. The inn itself is like, I think, $40 for that inn starter thing right here. So well worth it in my mind, especially when you see the stuff that comes out of Dwarven Forge and some of the others. This is something you can use with even that type of setting. Okay, enough props there, but love the product and use the product and will use the product very readily. So today, what's the topic? We've talked a lot about creating your own campaigns, your own spins, your own things. What if you simply don't have the time to put in to create your own campaign, and you want to take a pre-setting, a pre-built campaign? Mind you, there is the Paizo campaign if you play Pathfinder. There is Faerun if you play D&D 5e or Greyhawk, or the World of Greyhawk, the Living World of Greyhawk. So there are some places. There's Eberron, or Eberron, whatever people want to pronounce it. I call it Eberron. To me, it's Eb, but it's probably pronounced Eb. But I like Eberron better. Easier for me phonetically. So you've got all those type of settings you can work with, and they're all good settings, don't get me wrong, with rich history to them, and I'm a pro fan of all 3 settings. Loved them all, played them all, really fun settings. Greyhawk's a little darker than most. Eberron's more steampunky, or Eberron's more steampunky and steam-powered. Of course, you got Iron Kingdoms that you could always go into and do that one. There's a lot of different settings. I'm going to focus mainly on the fantasy realms and ones that are applicable to Pathfinder and D&D today. Sorry, folks. I know I've given a lot of coverage to all you other games. And believe me, you'll get more. And Open Legend, once I get all your stuff from Amara, I will get that into as well. So keep that in mind. I will give you huge props, my friend, once I get all that material. However, I'm going to give a lot of props to Kobold Press. I really like what Wolfgang Bauer and the bunch there have done with their campaign. I love the fact that he started this out as his homespun campaign. So mind you, for those of you who always say, well, there's no homespun campaigns out here and everything's pre-material. Well, Midgard is that campaign. It is homespun. He has created the history background with the help of a lot of people in his staff and third-party people helping out. And I really love the quality of the material. Now, the Midgard campaign setting book was nice. I gotta say, I am hugely, hugely impressed with the quality of the Southlands. I love the thickness. I love the binding of the book. I love just the overall quality. And as you can see, the printed material is really well done. The pages are nice and thick. A lot of designers on this one. You know, I mean, Amanda Heyman Kuntz of Paizo had a huge hand in this as a contributor, as did Adam Daigle, as did let's see, Owen Casey Stevens was in there, another Paizo person. God, there are probably quite a few in here that I'm not even going to bring up. But anybody who looks at this can see it is just a beautifully and well done book, as is the Midgard campaign setting. What do I love about it? Number one, they have richly diverse realms, from the frozen north, which is more of a Nordic flavor, and a probably a little bit more to Sweden and Finland, all in that area. So Norway, Denmark, Sweden, Finland, all in the north. Then you come down and it's more into the Germanic European setting with Midgard, with some cool twists. There are a lot of new uses of races here. So there's a whole ghoul empire, the Dracul. The Dracul are the ghouls in this world. A whole race. Really cool that they've done that. They've done a lot of other races in here. So let me give it a little bit of justice here and go to the beginning area of where they talk the races. And I can tell you the new races they've added. And this is just in the northern part of it, okay? We're not even going into the Southlands yet. So I'm going to go to this. I'm enlarging my page because I've got the PDF of Midgard. I hope, Wolfgang, to get the printed copy next. I did get it, as you can see, of the Southlands. They have the Gear Forged. So a kind of a nod to D&D 5e and Eberron. There are the Gear Forged. They're a little different than the forged people in Eberron. These are more Gear Forged. So these are people trying to prolong their lives by living in these mechanical automatons, these Gear Forged automatons. They highlight the Minotaurs and the Kobolds. The Dragonkin. They do incorporate the Dragonkin that you see in 5e. And so you see that even in the Pathfinder races. And they have the 7 minor races as well. So I love that they have those. They've got a lot of cool realms. They start out with the Crossroads. And at the Crossroads is a major city that is a free city that was not always free. And that's the free city of Zobek. Yes, you can tell I bought a lot of the material. Love the free city of Zobek. It builds on this idea that the area was once controlled by Dark Fae. And this Dark Fae has had a lot of influence on this area. It enticed a whole noble family to try to take over the area. And this family was horrific to the people in the area. This is the Strauss family. And the Strauss family was a very wicked family that worked with the Fae in order to try to enslave the whole area. But a couple of the nobles decided, or non-nobles decided to raise up and revolt. And that's really the key. As you can see, here's kind of the Dark Fae influence that's in there, in the Strauss family. The Great Revolt came about by Abelard and the wizard Marchenzo. So I wanted to let you know about that, and it's really kind of cool. Mini GM, you need to go and leave Dad to work. I will get to it, okay?
want to try the bunny.
We will see. Go on. I will get to it. Sorry, I picked at the end of the video to kind of start this. Let's see, bonus features and presto. There we go, presto the bunny. So sorry about the minor interruptions. That's the one thing you got to put up with in my videos, and hopefully you parents kind of giggle and laugh a little bit. I'm usually very positive with her, but there are days she knows to not interrupt Dad, and she yet, as a 5-year-old, she will come do it, just like my oldest 2 used to do. So always fun. But the Crossroads, it has this major city of Zobek, and it's really an area that if you want to base your party out of, Zobek has a lot to it. They do a lot with the Gear Forged. It's a huge area for them. They're a free trade city. They really and truly embrace the freedoms of the land and have kept the Strasses from taking back over again. There were some survivors from the Battle of the Crossroads that are there. There are some other areas in the Crossroads that are important as well. There is the Arcane Collegium in Zobek, and then there's also some surrounding areas around there in the Crossroads area. And so they talk a little bit about some of them. They go into the surrounding empires, the Empire of the Ghouls, the Clawwall Mountains, the free cantons of the Iron Crags, and all the cities up there, the Magdar Kingdom itself, the Order of the Undying Sun, and that whole area, the Electoral Kingdom of Krakova, and then Morgau and Dorish, and then Hanksburg. So there's a couple areas that are really just all around in that Crossroads area that make up that area empire-wise. Think of it almost like a Eastern European meets Germanic setting in this area. And it's really what it is, a lot of it. And I love that they have a whole ghoul empire. I think that is just the coolest thing in the world. I have waited for that. I know there's some mention of it in Paizo in the Underdark. This area takes them to the surface and has them walking the surface as a living, breathing, trading empire. Then you have the Rothinian Plains, and the Rothinian Plains have a lot of richness to them as well. You have Baba Yaga and her daughter's influence, so they brought Baba Yaga, like you have Elysian in Paizo's Pathfinder world of Golarion. You have Baba Yaga here as well in her area. And of course, Demovgrad, and the Khanate of Kazaki, the 9 cities of Nineheim, the Rothinian centaur hordes of Vadim, Kariv, the Wandering Realm, which kind of wanders around. I love that idea. And then you have the Dragon Empire, which is Marodi, the Marodi Empire. And I love the Dragon Empire. You also got Harkesh and the provinces and the Great Dragon Lords, the Despotate of the Ruby Sea that's down there, the Free City of Seawall, Nuria Natal, and they're going down into the Southlands. So now you're into the Southlands. I give mention of it there, but this book really fleshes out the history of the Southlands. Why do I like it? And what is so unique for me in there? The fact that it was started by titans and gods both. It has a lot of influence, and those gods and goddesses are still very much alive in those areas. The fact of having a whole Minotaur empire. So the creativities of some of these empires and some of the things they've taken from some of the other existing campaigns, it's like they took the best of every campaign and meshed them into a world. Now, mind you, he put this world together before it came into these hardcover books. So he was playing it with his party long before then. So it was really tried out. There's a lot of influence and background through his PCs and what they did that go into the written history of this realm. I like it for that reason. It's really unique in that way. Now, again, I'm not just trying to sell the product. How can you use it? Well, the Kobold Press folks left it very open to you in the future that it's in right now. So as you went through the history, they've got the before history, but they've taken you to a point of to where now you write the history. And I like campaigns that do that. And yes, all of them kind of do that and lend to it. But the diversity of what you can do in this campaign alone is amazing. And I love the fact of so many playing races that are not available in some of the other settings, that are not considered player character races. Like, for instance, Minotaurs in Paizo and Pathfinder are not considered as a playable race. Maybe in 5e they are, but not there. So that's one of the cool things there that you see. And so, yes, Janet, I'm going to do the fixing guy. Yay me. You guys will love it. All right. Bernie, the other robot in Wall-E that you don't see in the background, that they take you through the timeline. But I like that they give you those races. Now, they give you some cool races in the Southlands that I really want to point out to you that I think are really neat. Let's see, where are my races here? There we go, the 5 new races. So in page 19, they give you the races. Now, gnolls have always been a playable race in Pathfinder, but the gnolls in this realm are quite different. They have a different upbringing, and they have a loyalty to Bastet, and are very loyal to Bastet in a lot of ways. Instead of having Roboget, you've got Bastet. So there's that. Then you've got the Kijani. The Kijani are the plant people, like them. They're kind of an interesting race, but they're plant folk. You've got the Nikosi. The Nikosi are the cat folk of this realm, and Bastet's followers. The Tusculi, or the bug folk, the hive mind, like them. Then you've got the Trollkins that you can play. So that's another unique type of race. And then they also have the were lions and some of the other things. Now, the Nikosi are part of that and considered under that race. So it's really neat what they do here and how they pull it together. And I love how they go through the different realms themselves and really flesh them out with the history, the current ruling councils, what's going on with the trade, and the different aspects of it. So keep that in mind when you look at that.